ObaKaye Temple has, for the past, I'd say probably about 5 years, been making spiritual pilgrimages back and forth from Las Vegas to Nigeria for the purpose of initiations, whether they were fully Fa initiations or Orisha initiations. This is something that we've been doing. This is something that we are capable of doing. And the reason that we go back and forth to Nigeria is because it's very, very important for people, especially for African American people, new African people, who have been taken forcefully away from the continent of Africa over the past roughly 500 years. Even if they weren't all necessarily from West Africa, because in the beginning there were a lot of people taken from Central Africa as well, and from the South a little bit. The point though is that being removed from our home for so long, it has created an aberration in our people, in the spirit of our people. It's sort of like living around concrete all the time and never being able to become grounded by walking in the woods or walking in the trees or the forest. Going back to Africa, going back to Nigeria to do the Ifa initiations was very, very important, a very, very important idea and concept that I had, because going back home, when you get on the plane, you notice everybody looks like you on the plane. Not like just going to like Atlanta or New York and say, oh, I see myself in communities. It's a different level. When you get off the plane, everybody that works in the airport looks like you. When you turn on the radio, every voice on the radio sounds like you. When you look at every billboard as you drive through the streets, every billboard is a representation of you. Every doctor, policeman, firefighter, everyone looks like you. And in Isheshe, it's very, very important to be grounded in being comfortable in who you are and being comfortable in being an African first. Fine, we can call ourselves descendants. We still are it. So it's very important going back to Africa, going to Nigeria, and being there to do the Ifa work, because it creates a cellular rinse. And what do I mean by a cellular rinse? I mean that you get a chance to really break the brainwash and break the stereotype that we are less than, or that we are a minority, or that we cannot achieve or do anything. Because when you go back to Africa, everybody there is you achieving and doing. From the president to the prime minister to the general to the street sweeper, everybody looks like you and everybody is you. And that's very important, because as Isheshe people, we're in the minority in America. What we do, according to the colonizers, is called fetish. You know, witchcraft, all kinds of derogatory foolishness. But the truth of the matter is, when you go back there, when you initiate there, when you're there with that red soil, when all around you 360 degrees are people speaking in a native language other than English, it forces your cells and your DNA to remember something. When you taste the food, when you notice that there's similarities between Southern cooking and what you'll find there, it starts to build bridges. It causes all of the dendrites in your brain to start making new connections. This is the reason why ObaKaye had to do this expansion and had to make sure that we were connecting America with Africa and with Nigeria particularly. Another reason is because we understand that it's about building a symbiotic relationship. Over there, they have the knowledge. They have the language, they have the geography, they have the food, they have the weather, they have the land, the ley lines in the land. They have all of that. In America, we have the yearning, we have the desire, we have the hunger to want to remember. And because of the way economic politics have just happened to work out, more than likely by design, we also can come with a strong dollar. And so what we can do is we can build these economic bridges back to Africa and then build the educational bridges from Africa back to the US. and everybody is able to win. So this is the point of why we did an expansion and a building out of ObaKaye Temple to make sure that we were in Nigeria. Now, in a lot of regions, people may say, that they only stay in one area, or they only work with one person or priest. And I understand that from the individual disciple level. With ObaKaye Temple, we're in a very unique position because as being a temple, we do have an academic branch, which causes us to then do Ifa initiations and Orisha initiations all over Yoruba land, going into different states, going into different towns and communities to record and document people that are going through the Ifa initiations or Orisha initiations, yes, but also the dialect differences, the styles of initiation, all of these things, and compiling so that we can be one of those repositories of this vast, righteous, spiritual, very special knowledge and information. We also have gone so far as to create ObaKaye Yoruba Arts and Culture, which is an NGO, non-governmental organization, also a nonprofit in Nigeria as well, that focuses more so on the art side, the drummers, the adire dyers, the singers, the chanters, the dancers, the theater artists, the poets. Just for this reason, because again, we have to capture, maintain, and propagate our culture, our way of life, our ideas to help continue to bring more balance and stability and coolness back to the earth. The vision and the mission of ObaKaye Temple, when I think about it, the vision of ObaKaye Temple is to create a safe space for traditionalists to be able to nurture themselves, nurture their ways. In other words, nurture and propagate and strengthen the language, the practice of Ifa, the practices of Orisha, as it's done in Nigeria, not making it congri and mixing it with a lot of different things, keeping it very much in a purest form, with the understanding that when you travel by region, you will find variation, and we want to celebrate the richness in that variation. And so, as our mission statement, it was written down, it was documented, and we thought about it for a long time to say, you know what? We have to do this for everybody. We have to do this for the world. And it's going to be founded on the tenets of righteousness, founded on the tenets of compassion, founded on the tenets of discipline and consistency, founded on the tenets of sober genuflection, which means to think consciously, to think critically, to think logically, to think from a very real perspective about who we are and how do we evolve to whatever is our better version. Okay.
Close out with the pledge.
Oh, okay. And so, ObaKaye Temple, because we're a nonprofit, yes, we do accept donations. We accept donations in pretty much all financial platforms and vehicles. We can accept vehicles, we can accept land, we can accept money, we can accept help, sweat equity. People can help out and help us when we're doing donations. We're also doing a lot of other works in the communities to help feed, because we do all of this spiritual work and we have a lot of meat afterwards. We have a lot of food. We have cloth and clothes at times as well. And so we're always apt, ready, and willing to help to support our community, because it's very important that if you're going to have some sort of spiritual center in your community, that spiritual center is actually reaching out and feeding that community around it, like blood vessels going to organs. So, welcome. Thank you very much. And we look forward to seeing you all as prayerfully part of ObaKaye Temple in the future. As well, anyone that's interested in donating, You can donate via Cash App at ObaKaye Temple of Ifa. That's ObaKaye, ObaKaye Temple of OF Ifa IFA. $ in the front, ObaKaye Temple of Ifa at Cash App. Thanks a bunch and keep having a great day.